Welcome back to Bronco News Now. I'm Brooke Ballou.
And I'm Colton Spearman, filling in for Lauren Sawyer today. The first stage in a multi-year renovation of the Hazel Ridge Student Union began earlier this week. The first step will mostly consist of heavy cleaning and repainting of HSU. This process will be taking place over the rest of the year and into next year. After the paint dries, new furniture will be replaced. The current decor. The first stage should be completed by January. The next step will be focusing on repainting and updating the Student Union cafeteria. Hastings College Forensics has been traveling far and wide this season. Last year, they were ranked 16th in the nation. At mid-season this year, the forensics team has qualified for 10 events for national performance, which is 3 more than last year at this time. Team members look forward to the second half of the season, especially since in the past, the team has caught momentum and qualified many more events later on in the year. Stay tuned, as later on in the show, we'll have a live interview with Hastings College Forensics team member Jared Buskert. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, my good friend Alan Hamill will have the weather for you in the upcoming week. Stay tuned. You're watching Bronco News Now. Welcome back. I'm Colton Spearman, and now it's time for sports. Jessica Cunningham is off to nationals to represent the Hastings College cross country team. Melissa Neinmeyer has the story. Thanks, Melissa. Nationals for cross country will be November 17th in Vancouver, Washington. And now for some soccer. For the 5th consecutive season, the men's soccer team is headed to the national tournament. After back-to-back appearances in the national title game, the Broncos will have a long road ahead of them, beginning Saturday in Battlesville, Oklahoma, where the team will travel to face off against undefeated Oklahoma Baptist University. Though a return to the national title game will be a tall order, there is no doubt that the team has the talent to do it. With players like Jordan Green and Brian Kudrin, who are this year's Hoff Mid-American Sports GPAC Offensive and Defensive Players of the Year. Good luck to the men's soccer team that looks to make another run at the title. In the previous 2 years, the women's soccer program here at Hastings College has qualified for the national tournament. Once they have qualified in both years, they made it all the way to being the national runners-up. Then this year was a little bit different. In July, Coach Ted Flagaitis accepted a Division I coaching job at Western Illinois. So the Broncos turned to Boise State assistant coach Mark Hemans to take over. Despite getting off to a 6-game skid at the start of the season, the Lady Broncos battled back to earn the regular season GPAC title, thereafter making it into the GPAC Tournament Championship. However, in that game, they lost to rival Doane 3-0, striking their shot to go to the national tournament.
We didn't play as well as we would have liked. You give Doane a lot of credit. They played really well. And then when they had those opportunities, they were extremely opportunistic. You know, we can look back and be okay with it, but not satisfied. I don't think the kids were satisfied. They were disappointed. You know, I think after time they can reflect and say, yeah, you know, they did some really good things.
The Broncos now look to reassess what needs to happen this offseason if a trip to the national tournament is in the plans for next season.
We definitely need to recruit pretty heavily these next 2 years because we do graduate a lot. So we just need to get to work, and that's we're going to have a staff meeting here and where we need to go and what we need and what we're looking for. And I think most importantly, we just want kids that have a competitive spirit, that hate to lose, like to have the ball at their feet. They want the ball, not that they want to get rid of it as fast as possible. They embrace having the ball and they like that pressure.
It should be an interesting season next year, and it'll be awesome to see what Coach Mark Hemans can do. The Lady Broncos finished the season in volleyball this last Saturday after the GPAC Conference Tournament. The Broncos played the Concordia Bulldogs in the first round and swept them in 3 sets. However, the Broncos didn't have such an easy time against the Midland Warriors. In round 2, after winning the first set, the Lady Broncos dropped the sets along with the third set. And from there on, they had to come from behind in sets 4 and 5 in order to get the victory. The Broncos then played Doane in the GPAC title game on a very soggy night in Hastings. The championship game mirrored the Midland game set until the 5th set when the Hastings couldn't muster up enough to get the victory and fell to the Tigers, finishing second in the tournament. The Broncos head to Sioux City, Iowa on the 27th of November to begin pool play in the national tournament. Go get them, girls. We're all wishing you luck. Well, the Hastings College Bronco football season has come to an end. The season started out great as the Broncos got off to a 6-0 start, defeating Dordt, Concordia, Briar Cliff, Dakota Wesleyan, Dakota State, and Midland.
We started off fast. That was a positive to see. We really worked hard. Really, the positives was what we did early in the season, and our guys never wavered.
The Broncos ran into some trouble, though, going into the last four games of the season as Morningside, Dordt, Northwestern, and Nebraska Wesleyan were still looming.
We were playing, and that was it. When we went into Morningside, I think myself as the head coach started pushing that button, and we got a little tight. That's what really hurt us. The next week we go into Doane. Doane came out, they put some points on the board right away. We couldn't do nothing defensively or offensively, and just kind of snowballed from there. We go into Northwestern, who was flying high, and we were still soaking our wound, licking our wounds with Doane. And then we go into Wesleyan. They were on a 4-game win streak. We were on a 3-game losing streak. We messed up on some special team situations, and we didn't convert on 3rd down, and we missed a couple stops on 4th down. That was a tough one to lose, but I think that should and will give us more fire for this offseason to finish something.
Congratulations to the Broncos on having another winning season. We definitely look forward to next year. Basketball is here, and the men's team is off to a great start with a 5-0 record. It's early in the season, I know, but it's still better late than never to formally introduce you to this year's 2012-2013 men's college basketball team. The next men's game is the GPAC opener for the Broncos here at home against Morningside at 4 p.m. on the 17th in Lynn Farrell Arena. That's going to wrap it up for your Hastings College sports. Stay tuned. You're watching Bronco News Now. All Hastings College resident halls will be closing at noon this Saturday. Students should unplug any appliances in their rooms and check in with their RAs before departing. Students participating in organized college activities are permitted to stay in the residence halls during the Thanksgiving break, but only if a coach or advisor has requested an exception. Residence halls reopen at 1 p.m. on Sunday, November 25th.
This is Lauren Christensen.
High school students are encouraged to schedule an individual visit after admissions visit day to make sure that Hastings College is the right college for them. The Hastings community is holding the annual lighting of downtown tonight. The celebration will be held along 2nd Street and will feature a number of performances from local musicians and dance groups. Several downtown businesses will remain open tonight after normal hours to serve food and warm drinks to the public. Also, Graham Art Gallery will be open for viewing. Festivities will take place between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. A portion of 2nd Street will be closed today as they prepare for the event. Thanks, Brooke. And in honor of the upcoming holidays, we here at BNN would like to remind you to focus your thoughts on the things in your life that you're thankful for. Here's what HC students have on their minds.
Colton, did you hear what Ellie Clinch said she was thankful for?
I did hear that. I heard that she was actually thankful to be your roommate.
Which is probably the same thing you would have said.
Oh, of course. You know me too well, Brooke.
Well, that's it for this episode of Bronco News Now. Our next episode will be December the 6th, so be sure to visit hcmediaonline.org for more of your campus news. Thanks again to our sponsor, Taco Bell. Have a great day and a wonderful break.